Meanwhile, we are looking at big developments at the top at Wipro. You're seeing the movement of the stock today. It's down a percentage point. Amid quarters of underperformance by this particular counter, the CEO of the company, Thierry Delaporte, has resigned from his position as CEO. And now the Americas head, Srinivas Pallia, is going to replace Delaporte at the top at the CEO level. But quite literally, this isn't very new. Wipro, let's find out why. Anisha is here to tell us about the change of guard over at Wipro and its implications. Anisha, walk us through this big change that we are seeing at the management at Wipro and what it really means.
Well, yes, Wipro and other IT companies are in focus on account of the recent leadership change that has been announced at Wipro, with Thierry Delaporte resigning from his position as the CEO and Srinivas Pallia being appointed as the CEO with immediate effect. But this is not the first time we've heard about Wipro CEO changes, because if you look at the last 20-24 years, we've got as many as 6 to 7 CEO names from the house of Wipro. And for the latest one as well, Srinivas Pallia, the job is pretty much set. The task is put in order because he has to make sure that the growth comes back to the table. He's able to see attrition as well, and the fact that he's able to regain the board as well as the investor confidence is top priority perhaps for Mr. Pallia as well. In terms of the Wipro CEO, the chart that we were talking about, will right from Vivek Paul to Azim Premji, even the likes of Abid Nimuchwa and Thierry Delaporte, most of these CEOs have actually managed to do a tenure of only 4 to 5 years. That's been the maximum actually, if you look at the overall charts coming in for Wipro. So there has been a lack of stability there. Whereas if you compare it with the likes of TCS and Infosys, you see that the tenure were as long as even 21 years. For instance, for Narayan Murthy, for instance, at Infosys, N. Chandra had been there at TCS for almost 8 years. Mr. Ramadurai, who was there for 13 years at TCS, telling you that having leadership at the top does help give the direction, as well as gives the the team also to make sure as to what the direction is of the company going forward. However, Wipro has been lacking on that, and that's perhaps one of the reasons that Wipro's growth has also been lagging.
Right, Anisha, I mean, one understands that this is something we've seen in IT companies in the past. The change of guard and performance-driven kind of leadership is something that IT companies have pushed to a large extent. It's happening at Wipro. There has been underperformance, and now perhaps with the change of guard, the company is likely to do better. But tell us, historically speaking, Anisha, how have these companies, the IT companies, how have they dealt with leadership changes, these CEOs, how have they performed after the changes have been put in place?
If you compare the last 6-7 years, Wipro's growth rate has been dismal, largely between 4 to 7-8% if you strip away the inorganic growths. But the other large caps have managed to report double-digit growths as well, or at least high single-digit growth. That tells you that Wipro has been lagging. It's of course been lagging because there was a lack of execution and the drive in the employees and the sales team as well. So the deal wins were also lower. There have been execution challenges, plus there has been exits not only at the senior level, which has been exaggerated in the last 17-18 months, but even at the lower levels, there is that lack of trust perhaps in the brand as well, because the latest news flows coming in on offers being rescinded as well as pay cuts, etc. being awarded. So all of that had a negative impact on the brand perception as well. Having said all of that, Pro stock returns under the most recent CEO, which is Thierry Delaporte, who is quite strong at 25% CAGR. But if you compare it to the rest of the peers, they still fall short. So while the stock has been doing better on a standalone basis, it's still lagging behind peers. And now the big question is whether the turnaround now will be able to kind of get the stock out of the slumber and the company's execution out of that slumber. That's of course the big thing that we have to watch out for.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.